Sacred sister, happy new moon in Gemini. She is the maiden inside of you. And if you felt scattered or overthinking or dry in your body, disconnected from your joy, if your voice has been silenced or co-opted by productivity, people-pleasing, patriarchy, the Gemini new moon is your whisper of awakening. This isn't a moon for vision boards and plans. It's a moon for barefoot rituals in the spring warmth. It is the moon for reuniting with the part of you who once believed her voice could move mountains. This is your maiden. Gemini is the eternal child. The maiden as the first of the three triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone. She's not a phase we've outgrown, but she is the compass of our feminine rebirth. She's the girl who once ran with the wind. She sang to the trees. She made altars from wildflowers. And she's here to remind you who you really are underneath your bank account, your romantic drama, the hubbub of your full schedule. This part of you, this Gemini essence, is here to remind you of what really matters. And this moon is your chance to bring your maiden home. Because every time we push through when we need to rest, every time we pretend to be okay when we're not just abandoning ourselves, we're abandoning our maiden. This is the girl who trusts you to protect her now. And when you say yes out of fear instead of truth, she feels it. When you skip your altar, your bath, your walk, your breath, your workout, she feels it. And eventually she throws a tantrum, or she turns silent. She turns inward, and we call that depression, anxiety, burnout. I recently returned from a sacred women's pilgrimage to the Greek island of Paros. There was an ancient Artemis temple there called Aphrodite. This is one of Artemis' ancient moon temples that then got repurposed, as they all did, right, into monasteries. And Artemis was that once mighty earth mother long before she was demoted to the twin sister of Apollo. She was the goddess of all, the moon, the sun, the forest, the animals, birth, death, and wild feminine power. But patriarchy reshaped her story. Beginning about 1000 BC, Apollo got the sun, and Artemis, his twin sister, was confined to the moon. She became the virgin huntress, the wild maiden who roamed the woods untouched, the she-bear. Though her status was demoted and her story retold, there is wisdom in these remnants from the Greek pantheon. Because even now, she lives inside of you, inside of every woman who prefers the sound of wind in the trees over small talk, who carries a metaphorical bow to protect her boundaries, who feels more like herself in the moonlight than under the light of the boardroom. This is the energy of Artemis, the huntress. And this is the energy of Gemini, your maiden. And if you're still with me, you were probably the child who talked to stones, who knew that Earth was alive, and who felt that nature was actually your real home at some point in your girlhood. And maybe you didn't always feel that way with your human family. So Gemini touches us into the mother wound. Many of our mothers, bless them, weren't mentors of the awakened feminine. They were products of their time. They passed on the programming of the good girl, not the free woman. But you're here now, reawakening in a time when Earth herself is our ultimate teacher. She's the original mother who never abandoned you, who holds the template of what the feminine is meant to be. Tender, wild, clear in her boundaries. Cactus, ocean, avalanche, blossom. Nature is all of it, and she is your mother. Many of our mothers taught us to be nice, a nice little girl, because niceness seemed like protection. Don't be loud, don't be demanding, don't be difficult. But did it really keep us safe? Or did it just keep us quiet? The truth is, armor doesn't keep a woman safe. Knowing when to say no, knowing when to rest, being in our bodies, speaking our truth, feeling our feels, this is what keeps a woman safe. And when we override our own needs, we abandon our inner child, the maiden, Gemini. She always knows. I check in with my little girl every day, so this month is a powerful time for you to check in with her yourself. I go to the play spot in my childhood backyard that I used to call my fairy forest, and she meets me there. And when I've been pushing too hard, she cries, and it breaks my heart, and I have to shift for her. So where in your life is your little one asking you to slow down, to enjoy the spring? Every time we put our maiden first, magic comes out back into our lives. We laugh more, we play more, we flirt more, we dance like nobody is watching, and we love like we've never been hurt. This is the part of you that protects your inner child. She sets sacred boundaries and listens with reverence. And we enter into the portal of really bringing forth the magic of our inner child through self-care as women. Because it's not indulgence, it's actually loyalty to our inner child. It's survival, and it's healing ancestral trauma to tend your little one, to move into relationship with your little girl. Now, Mercury rules Gemini, and he is like the bee that just hops from planet to planet spreading gossip, let's say. But let's bring out a very particular energy of Mercury as we drop into the zodiac with the feminine awakening lens. Mercury is psychopomp. He is the messenger god who was able to dive down deep to guide Persephone, the maiden, back up from the underworld to the living world. And that's the invitation Mercury makes to us now, to be a psychopomp for our own inner child, to retrieve her, walk with her, listen as she speaks, to invite her into our daily life, and to not leave her behind in the underworld of the busyness of your woman, the perfectionism of your woman, the overfunctioning of your shadow woman. Let's be clear, all of those shadow women. Okay, so we've talked about boundaries, we've talked about all this seriousness here. Let's talk about something that is equally sacred. And the gift of Gemini, the gift of your little one, ridiculousness. Yes, woman, ridiculousness. The holy art of not taking yourself too seriously. In a world that's burning, in a culture that thrives on stress and status, choosing to laugh and wiggle and talk to nature, to choose your joy, it's not immature, it's revolutionary. So I call us to the story of Amaterasu, the Japanese sun goddess. After being violated, she hid in a cave and the world went dark, and no one could coax her out. Until the old crone goddess, Ame no Uzume, said, I've got this. All the gods were tripping. This ancient crone goddess said, I got this. So she stripped naked, danced, laughed, and yes, she flashed her pussy to the sky. I cannot make this up. It is literally in the mythology. And all the gods and goddesses gathered around roared with laughter. And Amaterasu peeked out from her cave and laughed too. Her heart cracked open and she returned, and therefore the sun returned to the land, all through the art of ridiculousness, not taking ourselves too seriously. Joy resurrected into the world, not through therapy, not through shadow work, not through grit and grind, but through laughter and play, and yes, through pussy. Because the sacred foolishness of the feminine brings us back to the light, and that is the gift, the power, and the service of our inner child. Gemini doesn't teach us through heaviness. She teaches through light. She says, let your body be a poem. Let your pleasure be a prayer. And if you've forgotten how to laugh, don't start with a joke. How many women do I work with where I ask them, when's the last time you danced? When's the last time you laughed? Which would be literally, in certain shamanic cultures, would be the first thing asked if we were depressed or anxious. When is the last time you laughed? When is the last time you danced? If you're looking to reconnect with your maiden, with your lightness, we don't start with a joke. We actually start with self-care. Book the massage, go to bed early, take the bath with the oils that make you smell like a rose in heat. Because when you're rested, you start noticing how hilarious life is, how hilarious your inner child is, and we start finding pleasure in the mundane. And we see how magic hides inside of play. Now I want to tell you a story of my beloved nephew who came over here. Actually, my altar was there a month ago or so. He came over there, he picked up a beautiful quartz crystal and he said, can I make a wish on this? He's 3.5. And I said, yes, absolutely. But you have to say the wish 3 times and then keep your attention there. And he said, I want a water gun. I want a water gun. I want a water gun. And I said, that one's easy. And I said, keep your attention on it. Keep your awareness on it. So every day thereafter, he told his mom, he's like, I don't know, am I going to get a water gun? I wished on Haley's crystal. And the next week, I had a water gun delivered to my door. So I called him up on video chat, and I said, Mason, you'll never believe it. This water gun just arrived on my front door, on my front step. And he was like, whoa, it worked. And this is 100% the power of the inner child. They know how to manifest by believing in magic. So all of this push and this hustle doesn't touch the innate innocence and belief that exists inside of the power of your maiden. Your maiden is the wild one, the intuitive one, the part of you that hasn't been told who to be. This tending to the maiden is why I've seen in myself and so many women that we are up for sexual creativity with our beloveds. Because when we see it as innocent play, as a new game, a silly fantasy, the maiden is down. When we are in touch and awake to that part of us that is connected to the ridiculousness of life, that is connected to the levity, sex moves away from performance and obligation into curiosity and joy, the sacred foolishness of the trickster, coyote. This is the gift of the maiden in her wholeness. She teaches us how to delight back in our bodies. So sister, as we wrap, when was the last time you played? When was the last time you laughed until your belly hurt? But just notice, where have we stopped letting joy be the way back in? Gemini new moon says to you, it's okay to start with giggles and rest and play. With the silly and tender ways the feminine returns to herself. So here's your new moon ritual. Light a candle, Place your hand on your throat and the other on your womb. Slow it down and breathe. And then connect with her. Ask her, what do you want to do today? What do you need to feel loved? And when she answers, do it, especially if it's silly. Schedule it, prioritize it, protect it like a sacred right. And remember that it will dictate the quality of your future much more than an extra hour of work. Gemini is here to return us back to our joy. This is how we magnetize miracles and how we remember. We were never meant to be only adults, but divine children in grown-up bodies. And life is here to play. Blessed new moon, sister.